Welcome in the world of artificial intelligence under artificial intelligence using Python series of lectures. So we are studying here search methods. Hi, I'm Dr. Sunil from GCS Solutions. Now the contents of this lecture are, so under search algorithms we'll see the depth first search, that is DFS. We'll see what is append function. We'll also analyze the DFS algorithm. Now depth first search, that is DFS, is a search technique which searches to the lowest depth or ply of the tree. DFS uses stack as a data structure, that is the open list. That means the open list which is used in the algorithm is maintained as a stack, and it is used to process the given state space. Now we'll try to understand what this DFS technique is. That is how this search algorithm searches the lowest depth of the tree. Now here is the example that we have been given a graph with 4 vertices A, B, C and D, and the edges like A is connected to B, so B is also connected to A as it is undirected graph. Then there is connection between A and C, B and C, B and D, and C and D. These are the edges, and we have been given A as a start node and D is the goal node. That means if we start with the start node A, we'll try to search the goal D. Now in this case the graph is very simple because it will iterate for the less number of time and it will be easy for you to understand. That's why I have taken a very small graph, but you can explore this DFS on any given larger graph. Now how to explore the state space for this 4 node graph with 5 edges? So this is the state space. For example, if I start with A, so A is the root, then A has 2 children, that is B and C, and how many descendants are there for B? If you see the graph here, see where I am pointing. Now B has children like A, C and D, because B has immediate successors A, C and D. What are immediate successors? These are the nodes which are directly connected to any given node. For example, if I consider B as the current node, then the immediate successor of the B are A, C and D. Now here in state space we have to mention that B has immediate successor A, C and D. Similarly, C has immediate successors A, B and D. So I have specified here. And for D, what are the immediate successors? So for D, there is B and C. So here we are having D connected to B as well as C. So we have to explore this D at 2 places. One as the part of the B, that is D is child of B and D is also child of C. So here B and C. So this way, this is the complete exploration of state space. So for 4 node graph with 5 edges, we have this exploration. But how to represent this exploration so that our algorithm will understand this state space? Now this state space can't be directly given to our algorithm as a diagram. Rather, we'll represent this diagrammatic representation in the form of certain data structure. So I have maintained here something called a list of successors. It is a dictionary, that means key value pair. If I say A is a key, that is the node, then B and C are the values of the successors of node A. So just focus on the rectangle I am pointing here. So I am pointing to this rectangle wherein I have list of all the nodes of the graph and the immediate successor of each of the nodes. For example, A has immediate successor B and C. Now what about B? B has immediate successor A, C and D. Now in state space we see this. Now C has immediate successor A, B and D. So we have mentioned here. That is the third element of our successor list. Then D has B and C. So this way our state space is known to our algorithm in form of certain list, that is the list of successor S. Hope you understood this point. With this understanding, we will try to understand the actual depth first algorithm in the subsequent discussion. Now here is the DFS algorithm. We have been given a start node. So that is the argument to be passed to the algorithm. So what it does, it starts with the given start node. So that start is assigned to the open list, and initially closed list is empty. Now here we use one variable called state, which tells us that initially we are starting with the assumption that we have not yet found the goal. That means our state is failure. Okay. Now there is a while loop which iterates either if open list is empty or you have got the goal node. So we have here in while loop 2 test condition, if open is empty, that is open is not empty and state is not success, then we'll continue iterating or exploring the nodes. If our open list is not empty and state is not a success state, then what we do, we pick a front node from the open. So our open list is maintained as a stack. So we'll pick up the front node of the open list and we'll call that node as n. Now we'll remove that node which we have picked from the open and we'll update the open. So open will be having all node but one, that is n, not present in it. Now we'll check whether the node we have picked, that is the current node, is a goal node or not. So here goal test function will return the status whether the given current node n is goal or not. So how it works? So let us focus on the goal test function. So here I am pointing to the goal test function. So goal test function takes the n and it checks with the goal. For example, if we have started with node A, so our n will be A and goal, our given goal is D. So it will try to match A to D. Now is A a goal node? No, because A is the current node and goal node is D. As it is not matching, it returns false. So obviously this test condition fails. So this algorithm gets into else part. If test condition is true, then it will update the status that the node goal node has found. So status is, that is state is success, and it will try to append the current node to the closed list. So how this append works? So append algorithm takes two arguments, first list and second list. So let us focus on the append algorithm. So I am pointing here in the second rectangle of this slide, that append takes two arguments, list 1 and list 2. It creates a temporary list called new list. First it takes the elements in the list 1 and to this list 1 elements, all the elements of list 2 are added and that new list, temporary list, is returned to the DFS algorithm. So here it will take first list as a closed elements of the closed and second list as a current node and will append it to the closed. If this test condition is true, then this happens, otherwise it gets into else part and it will now again repeat the same process, that it takes the current node and appends to the close and will now try to find the immediate successor of given node n. So here moveGen works. So how this moveGen works? Just focus on the moveGen. That moveGen takes the current node. For example, if we start with A, so it will say n is A. So it will try to explore moveGen of A. Now it takes a successor list which is empty initially. Now it tries to search this A in the list of successors. So we have already understood what that successor list is. So here is the list S in which all nodes of graph are present and for each of the nodes the successor of the nodes are specified as a list. So here A has successor B and C. So first it searches whether A is present in this list or not. So in this list S, A is the first element. So as there is a match, it takes this B and C and stores in successor. So initially successor is nil, that is no element is there. So it will take the children of n and will make a union with success and success will be written, that is this least success will be written where? In this DFS. Now this way the MoveGen returns the successor of any given node n, and from that those are nothing but the children of the given node n. So from this child we'll remove whatever is there in the open, and from child we will also remove whatever there in the closed, and whatever is left in the child node, that is append at the beginning of the open list. So here whatever is there already in the open, to that existing element the new child elements are added at the beginning. So anything you add at the beginning is just like a stack. So here we are trying to maintain this open as a stack. Hope you understood the flow of the algorithm, but we'll simulate this algorithm by taking one example. That example is nothing but this graph, which we have already seen in the earlier discussion. So we'll now see the stepwise execution of this DFS algorithm in the subsequent slides. So now we have the same algorithm. Now we have been given this graph. So the start is A and goal is D. So we'll start with A. So in our open, we are assigning the start node. So that is we are storing A in the open, and initially closed is empty. Now state is failure. These are the initial state of different variables or data structures of the DFS. Now it checks whether open is empty. Now in open there is one start element. Is it empty? No, this condition is true. So this symbol is not symbol. So this is true, and failure is not success. This is also true. Now it gets into while loop. Now while loop will terminate only if either both the conditions are false or one of the conditions is false. Now here pick a front node from n. So as there is only one node in open, so we pick that node, then we remove whatever we have picked. So in open there is only one node. If we remove the same node from the open, so open becomes empty at this point of time. Now goal test function, what it does, it will try to see whether A is goal, but here our goal is D. So as this is not matching, so this test condition fails. So it keeps this if part and gets into else part. Now what it does, it appends this node which we have picked to the closed list. Now what is there in the closed list? Initially closed is empty. So here is the closed, here is the n. Now it appends. That means to this empty closed list it appends A. Now what is the final status of the closed list? So closed has one element A. Now at this point of time open is empty and closed has one node, that is the start node. Now here MoveGen function is called. So MoveGen of A is called. Now what is MoveGen of A? So it will try to give you the child nodes of A. Now what is the child node of A? It is B and C. So B and C is written by MoveGen, that is assigned to the child, and from the child whatever is there in the open, that is removed. Now at this point of time open is empty. So here from this BC nothing will be removed, that means child will remain same, B and C. And also from the child node we try to remove whatever there in the closed. Now in the child list we have BC, and in closed we have A. So we'll try to remove A from BC. So as there is no A, so child will remain BC. And here the open is updated by appending whatever there is in the child at the beginning. So here what we are trying to do, we are trying to do something like this, that we have started with A. Let us focus on the diagram, that is graph. We have started with A. So as A is not goal node, so we'll explore the child nodes of A, that is B and C. Now as B and C are appended at the beginning of the open list, our open list will be having B and C. So what will we do next time, that is in the next iteration? So we'll take this new B and C and we'll try to explore these two nodes from the open list. So it will loop back again. in the next iteration. That means at this point of time, when first iteration is over, we are having this status, that in pink color I have represented this, that open will be having B and C and closed will be having A. So what we are trying to do, that whatever nodes we have visited up till now, that will be placed in closed, and whatever next nodes we have to explore, that will be placed in open. So we'll start with the new open list and we'll iterate the while loop again, because while loop iterates this either one of these two condition is false or both the conditions are false. But in our case here both the conditions are true, because now our open has B and C and still our status is failure, because we have not yet reached to the goal node. We have just explored the node A and we are going to explore this B and C, which are child of A or children of A. Hope you have understood this. Now we'll go to the next iteration. Now, as we know that here the state is still failure because we have not yet reached to the goal state, and our while loop is still executing because our open has got updated. Now our new open is BC, which is not empty, and our state is still failure. So while condition, both the conditions are true, that is list open list is not empty and state is also not a success state. So this is true. So it now takes the front node of open. So what is there in open? It is BC. Now what is front of this open list? It is B. So it picks B, and now it removes. Now see here, I am just trying to show you the simulation of this algorithm parallelly, that we have this algorithm and these are the steps we are following in this in context of this given graph A, B, C and D. Fine. So here open is having B and C. So whatever we have picked at the beginning, that will remove from the open because we are exploring that node. So that is to be removed from the open. Now what left in open is only one node, that is C. Now whatever you have picked, that is N or B. Now we'll try to call goal test function with that. Now what is goal test B? So goal test function will try to check whether B is goal or not. But in our goal, D is the goal, B is not. So obviously goal test will return false, and because of this it will not get into the if part, rather it gets into the else part. Now again same thing is repeated. What are the 5 steps to be followed in else? So here closed is updated, that means up to this point how many nodes we are explored? We have already explored A in the first iteration. Now we have a current B in this current iteration, that is iteration 2, and now as we have processed this B, so up till now we have processed A and B and that goes to close. So here whatever there is in the closed, that is earlier closed was having A, now new node current node is B, that is appended. Now closed will be A and B. Now here moveGen function is called for B because B is not goal node. That's why we have to explore the children, that is immediate successor of B, and that is done by this moveGen function. Just focus on the line of the algorithm which I am pointing here. So here moveGen of B is called. Now moveGen function will try to search this successor list. It tries to match B with first element. B is not matching to first node A, so obviously A is not B, so it again goes to the next element B. Yes, B is matching. So moveGen of B is nothing but the successor of B. What are the immediate successor of B? It is A, C and D. So that is written by moveGen function and it is collected in the child list. Now from the child list we'll try to remove whatever there is already in the open and closed, because see, whatever there is in the closed, that should not be appearing in the new children. Why? Because the nodes which we have already processed should not be a part of child node created by or written by the moveGen. So here ACD is the child of B, that those are the children of B, and now whatever there is in the open, now in open there is C, just see here, so that is removed. So what left in child is A and D, and we will also try to remove whatever there is in the closed as well, because it should not form the loop. So here in child there is A and D, so what is there in closed? In closed there is A, so that is A is removed from the child list, so it will remove A. So what is left in child now? It is only D. Now that D is appended at the beginning, because we are maintaining open as the stack. So whatever is left in the child, that is placed at the beginning of the open list. So now our open is updated to D and C. So this way, this new open and the new closed will be the value used in the next iteration. Now I have again maintained this here, that after this iteration our open will be D and C and our closed will be A and B. Now these two things will be used in the next iteration. Hope you understood up to this point. Now here we'll see that how these values will be helpful in the next iteration. Now here our algorithm starts with the new iteration, that is iteration 3. So our open is having D and C and state is still failure, so this while condition is true. Now it picks the beginning, that is the front node of open list. So what is there at the front? It is D node. Now here whatever we have picked, that is removed from the open. So open is having D and C and we have picked D, so D is removed. So what is the node left in open? That is C. Now goal test function is called. Now we are trying to see whether D is goal or not. Now as this D is goal node, this goal test function returns. So this time else part will not get executed, rather if will get executed. So instead we store the success, because we have got the goal node, and whatever there was in the close, to that D is appended. So what is the status of close now? It is A, B and D, and algorithm iterates again. Now here in open there is one element C. It is not empty, true, but the state is success. Now here is success is not equal to success, false. So as true and false is false, this algorithm comes out of the loop. Now at the end what you see, that C is stored in open, algorithm has already terminated, and in closed we have A, B and D. But you know well that as we have found the goal node, the closed node has a path starting from source to destination. So what is our source? A, and via B we have reached to D. Now in this graph, if you see carefully, that we can traverse from A to B and B to D, and this way we have traversed this as a depth first search. We are moving deeper and deeper. We have started with A, we are moving deep to the B and now to the D. Hope you understood this DFS behavior. Now if we see carefully, that our DFS algorithm has traversed this state space. Now as it has traversed in this fashion, A to B and B to D, we have got a path A, B and D. What if C would have been at the beginning of the open list? So it would have followed this path A to C, then it would have explored C, and in C at some point of time it would have arrived with node D, and as D is goal, the path would have been A, C and D. So this way we can have two paths to reach the goal node. Here also we'll see that A to B, B to D, or else we can have A to C and C to D. So we are moving deeper and deeper. That's why this algorithm is depth first search. It moves deep and deep. Fine. Now we'll try to analyze this DFS algorithm. Now DFS or any algorithm in the world of either artificial intelligence or data structure, the algorithm has to be analyzed, or any algorithm is to be analyzed based on the four features. First is completeness. What is completeness? That means if the DFS algorithm guarantees the solution, then that algorithm is complete. But in our case, DFS algorithm will not guarantee the solution because the state space is infinite. In case of 4 node, this is the state space. What if you have 10 nodes? Just imagine what will be the state space. And if it has infinite depth in the state space, algorithm may not terminate. And if algorithm doesn't terminate, there is no guarantee that you will get the solution. We'll explore this thing in the subsequent lectures of the artificial intelligence. Don't worry. Now optimality, that is the second criteria for the analysis of algorithm. The solution given by DFS is not low cost or best solution, as the alternate path may be the best one. For example, in our case, whatever simulation we saw, the path was from A to B and B to D. Assume that the distance from A to C is, say, 5 and distance from A to B is 2. Now our algorithm will try to choose this path. For example, the shortest one, that is 2. But from B to D, the distance is 18, and from C to D, the distance is 5. So what would be the best one? The best one is A to C and C to D, but our algorithm has explored A to B and B to D. That means even though our algorithm has followed this path, that is A to B and B to D, it might have been the case like the better path was A to C and C to D. So here DFS may not give you the optimal solution or low cost solution. What is time complexity? It takes exponential time because state space is exponential, and worst case working of this algorithm is b raised to power d, that is big O of b raised to power d. What is b? B is the branching factor. And what is this branching factor? That is number of maximum children for each node. For example, in our case, the maximum children for each node is 3. What if this graph would have been complete graph? That means every node would have been at most 3 child node. So here the maximum branching factor is 3. And what is d? D is the depth of the state space. So here it is exponential. For smaller graph or smaller state space, it is not this big, that is big O of b raised to power d is not the larger value, but for larger state space it is exponential. So it takes a lot of time, exponential time. What of the space complexity? It is linear to the depth of the search. It is b into b into n. What is n? N is the maximum depth of the node in the state space. That is for any given node, n is the depth for that particular node. For example, A has depth 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, B has depth 1, 2. So this way the state space is linear. So this way we see that there are certain pros and cons of this DFS. So it is not a complete, it doesn't give optimal solution, and it also has a larger time complexity, but space complexity is linear one because it has explored only this part of the state space. Only 3 nodes it has explored, 3 or 4 nodes it has explored. Hope you understood this. So dear learners, how was the lecture? Please subscribe to the GCS Solutions, like the video if you really like it, share among the friends, and comment for the improvement. So we are GCS Solutions, making technology easy to learn. See you in the next lecture. Till next lecture, be intelligent.